Hey, residents of Meepletown, the year is 1849, and we are in Nevada City.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. And we are trying to be the most prosperous, gun-toting, slinging, ranch hand hiring, rootin' tootin' westerns in the Wild West. Let's get to the table and check out Nevada City.
Nailed it. All right, residents of Meepletown, we are ready to play Nevada City. That's stick up.
That's like Michael Scott in improv class. That's what that is.
That is good stuff. All right, so as we always do, we're going to just kind of play through the game, and as we play through it, we're going to teach it. Now, we have this thing already set up. There are a few things that we're going to do at the beginning of each turn. We're going to place new event cards that come out. We're going to reveal some new buildings. There's 3 years worth of buildings in this game. Now, this game is going to be played over 4 years, 5 years possibly, in a two-player game, or whenever all these building plot spaces get filled up. We're going for victory points. Whoever has the most victory points is going to win this game. Both of us start with some victory points based on these initial buildings that we got. I got 6 for that. Dean got 3 for that. And then victory points on our little thing, 2 apiece for these farms and mines and stuff that we have on this thing. We will play the advanced game, so we may show the troublemakers shoot up at the end of this, you think?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we're going to put new workers, 3 new workers every round, one more worker than the number of players. So, with all that being said, we're going to flip over one of these right here, and we're going to see what happens. All right, here's the first event, Homestead Act. For the remainder of the year, when you take an action at City Hall, claim land. To claim land, you may also pick up a building. So, basically what it's saying is when we take a stake here, normally you can only build a building or set a building up for construction, or grab one of these farms or mines or a cattle ranch. But this round, this whole year, we can get both for staking a claim. So it's Dean's turn to go first. In this game, you're going to pick one of your characters and actually take all of their actions. So right. Dean's going to pick one of his and go for it.
And did you mention the end of the game scoring?
I did not. So while you take your actions, Dean and I were both dealt 2 of these cards, and we picked one of these that's going to be used for in-game scoring. And to kind of simulate, I'm guessing, a third player, one of them is random. Now, we do know, and it gives you on the back of the card the things that it can be, so it's not entirely random because you can have an idea of what it might be.
What I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and place it up here. I do have to pay 2 for that claim spot, but just like John had already said, I get to take one of each of these. So I'm going to take the brick oven, which will not be built yet, but it will be mine for when I do build it. I'll put my marker on there to show that that is my building and you can't have it. So back off. And then I get to pay, sorry, this is the Wild West. I am also going to pay 3, which is really going to wipe me out of my money. But I will pay 3 to get a, what is that, a ranch? Is that what that's called?
Cattle ranch.
Cattle ranch.
A ranch. It's a ranch.
Yeah.
I just say cattle because there's a cattle on there.
All right. So I'll take some ranch.
He gets 2 victory points for that as well.
That's right, where I produce ranch dressing. Is that what you produce at the ranch?
That's exactly what happens. It's where ranch comes out of the cow's udders. Wouldn't that be? How would you think about that? I could really take some chicken wings and just go and go for it.
I feel very uncomfortable right now. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this worker and I'm going to produce on my farm, which will let me get a crop token to put on here. And I only get to produce 1. Yes, 1.
Yeah. And you may notice too that each of these cards are going to have, your players are going to have special abilities, which is kind of neat. If he had used paw, he would have been able to place one here, and then he would have done 1 extra production if he had another, which he does, another farm, so he would be able to produce on that one as well. And as Dean said, this is going to change every round, but there is this top row shows production, so there's 1 crop production. It's worth $3 in the market, though.
That's right, which is why I went ahead and produced on this one. I needed that extra worker, so I'll place down there. I'll have to pay $1. I'm going to sell 2. I can sell 2 that are both get a $4 bonus, so it's going to be $14 that I'll get on that.
$14. That's a pretty good.
Yeah, I really getting that money boost at the beginning. Now, again, like John said, I would have loved to have been able to use this worker to produce that extra crop. but sometimes you just got to go with what you have. So
That's exactly right. You done?
yeah, I'm going to pick
done
up the
so?
token that I dropped on the ground.
All right. So I am going to take my paw, John Wine.
He looks just like
just
John
Wayne.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's going to cost me a little more because Dean took that spot. It will cost me $3, and I am going to do the same thing Dean did off the bat. Wow, you didn't take the Undertaker this time, huh?
I did not. Yeah, I figured it. I would like to produce resources.
I
The
do
Undertaker gives you $4 every time one of those characters is killed off, which gets you a lot of
Will
money.
happen in the advanced game a lot.
Yeah.
Probably will happen in the advanced game a lot. All right, so I'm taking that card, which again I paid $3 for. That now I can take one of these, which I will pay $2 for.
What John and I did not do at the beginning of the game is take one of each resource.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you start off with one of each resource.
Do I want to do that though? No, you know what? I'm actually just going to pay $1. Give me my dollar back. Give me my money back.
I thought that was coming.
Where's that? What did I do? How did I pay $1? Oh, I did it with the 5. Oh wait, that's right.
Who
Sorry.
are you talking to?
I don't know. I probably totally screwed that up. By the way, probably gonna have all these kind of nasty comments. All right, got that sucker. So a couple victory points there, and that's my first move. And you're right, Dean. We didn't get all these. You start off with one of each of these. All right. What is? There we go. All right. So we got that. Man, I need some money too. And I've got one of these. So all right, I'm gonna come up here. Yeah. If I could. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Dean, I want to do what Dean wanted to
noises
do.
here,
I
right?
want to do what Dean just did. All right, so I'm going to pay 1. The market value is 3 plus $4, $7. So I'll take 7.
Yeah, taking those spots early is really important.
Yeah, especially early in the game. Whenever
Yeah.
All right, so I've got that, and then I'm tempted to just produce with my paw here. I'm going to do it. So because I have this +1 here, I will do, the production's only 1, but I will get a production. Man, hold up. That cattle production being 3 is solid.
Normally, turns shouldn't take this long.
What are you talking about? This isn't taking that long. It's not taking that long, Dean.
I mean, I'm taking a nap.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
I'm going to have my brick oven built by the time you get done with your turn.
So what I'm going to do is this. Yep. I'm going to spend lots of money here. I'm going to go hire a worker for $9. And I'm going to go hire Mary because she is the only female worker. What's interesting in this game, she looks like she's rootin' tootin', man. I wouldn't want to mess with her. What's interesting in this game is at the end of this round, we're able to marry off our son or daughter if we have a couple spirits and a couple of these resources right here, and they actually stay in our family for the rest of the game. I think that's interesting. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to just marry her off to Mary. Her name is Mary. Marry her. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next.
All right.
Boom! Job market. Wow. Each player immediately draws 2 workers. So wow, I'm going to have a ton.
That actually worked out well for me because I didn't recruit a worker yet, hire a ranch hand, so maybe this will be what I need.
Whoo!
Wow.
So I could use that to build that, but
yeah, I think it's...
I want an extra. Okay, so put those on the bottom of the deck, or in the discard pile. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, discard pile.
Yeah.
That was actually really helpful for me. I picked up Ursula, who gives me 2 horseshoes. And... let's see.
Wow, got a lot of actions going this time.
Thing is, I'd really like to be able to recruit anyway, even though I got Ursula. I would like Rob, which is going to be helpful still.
That was so perfect for you.
Yeah, it was really good. All right, now I also wouldn't mind producing. There's a lot of really difficult decisions in this. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use Paw.
Are they that difficult, Dean?
Paw is going to... I was just getting onto you for taking too long. Paw is going to spend $5 there plus $5 there, $10 to get Rob. Rob's going to go here, and he'll put some tokens on here. Actually might be able to marry off 2 characters right off the rip.
You'd have to get a decent amount of stuff. But
yeah, I still have to get a lot of things to go along with that. So I think what I'll do is forepaw. Oh, do I have the money to do it? I do, but he also needs to produce things. So Paw's going to produce in the mines, and so I will take 2 of these silver tokens. Is that what I'm producing here at the mine?
That's
Silver?
exactly right.
Okay. Producing silver there, and that's going to be my turn.
Okay, excellent. All right, so my turn, I am going to go here. And now because she has the +1, I'm going to produce here, which 3 production this round. That's pretty crazy. So I produce 3 cattle on this farm, or ranch, not farm. And then, since she has the +1, I take a marker from my supply over here and produce 3 more, which is solid. Then, holy schnuggets.
Oh, what was that? I don't know what that means.
Better watch my language.
Nuggets. That's a Wild West term.
Then I'm going to come over here to the stockyard, pay $1, to trade 1 at market value +4 for $6. That's my second move, because I'm running out of money a little bit. Yeah. I could have done that, but I'm... Okay, so I'm going to go up her, and I need lumber so I can build this sawmill here. So I'm going to go ahead and pay, you pay $2 or whatever for each one, up to 3. I'm going to go ahead and pay 6. I'm going to grab 3 of those, because I need 3 of those, probably. Close to it. It depends on if I use one of these workers, which we'll talk about that whenever someone builds something here in a minute.
All right, you finished?
Yep.
All right, I will...
Hold up! Hold the phone!
Oh, wait, sorry.
Baby boom in the herds. Move 1 livestock value cube from market value to... Oh my gosh. Wow.
Well, that
holy production.
Changed my decision.
Oh
here.
my gosh. I'm fine with that because I sold one. But yeah.
I think what I will do is...
Well, he's thinking I'm going to make a couple things I'm going to mention.
I figured that out.
A character cannot go to the same building twice in a round, which we haven't. So I couldn't go here and then go back to the trading post again the same round. We didn't mention that.
I'm going to sell so that spot's not taken. I can sell 2 of my silver tokens for 3 plus $2 bonus that you get on here. So that's going to be 5. I do have to pay John $1 to take that spot,
because that's mine. So another thing that we didn't mention is that whenever it is your building, you do not have to pay the costs.
Right.
And other people come to it, they have to pay. So that's pretty cool too. So you're kind of building a little engine that's going to help you lower the costs.
I do have some money now.
And gain some money, maybe.
I think what I need to do is really kind of prep myself for the end, for being able to marry off the daughter and son. And it sounds weird saying that a little bit, marrying them off.
Marrying them off.
They grow up so fast, John. All right, I have to spend $6.
Weirdo.
To take that action if I want to buy 3 resources, which I do. And I want to buy spirits. Ooh, I better make sure that I for sure get those spirits that I need. So I'm just going to buy 3 spirits there, and now I've pretty much got what I need to be able to marry them off, and that's my turn.
I'm in a little bit of a dilemma here. All right, I'm going to go here and I'm going to produce. Now she would actually be able to produce on 2 additional ones. The production is only 1, which is not great. That's why I was in a bit of a dilemma. We are putting these markers on here because the markers are indicating that you can only actually do an action of production on the farm or the mine or whatever once per year. Over here, each character can go to them, but that's a whole it.
That's it. All right, flip.
I
don't even know what that is.
Training class for the I like this card. For the remainder of the year, each son or daughter may add any one skill to the construction of a building in addition to the normal construction action. So what this is
Okay,
saying is, and you're going to see this as we produce, if they have the skill, which is why I was wrestling with using her, because that means I can actually pay 1 less wood and 1 less brick to build this building if I had used her.
Yeah, so that makes my decision pretty... That's for the rest of the year, correct?
Mm-hmm, that's right.
All right, I'm going to use Wanda Oakseed to go up here to the brick oven, and because she's going to produce an extra brick, I only have to pay 2 instead of the 3 that I would have to have. It cost 4. I have the wood, and then I also have the horseshoe. So that was actually a pretty cheap.
And Dean used this entertainment because this is a wild.
Yeah, wild. Entertainment is wild. Wild
Ooh.
Entertainment. There you go. 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I take the lead, and we'll call the game there. That's the game. We're done. No, I'm not done yet. And I will... what to do? I hadn't really thought through the second part of my turn.
Oh, shoot. I just spilled coffee. No! I just spilled coffee on the rule book a little bit. It's dripping down my chin. How old am I?
Is that going to stay in the video?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we're all...
My token.
That's the thing. That's what we are. We're authentic and we're real here.
Okay.
Are you done with your turn yet?
No, I'm not. I'm going to...
Kind of need to go get a paper towel.
Place... Here, let's stop.
All right, the coffee escapade is over, and we are ready to roll, Mapletown. Ready to go.
Escapade. Right? All right, I will place...
Whoever thought coffee could be so dangerous?
Who was I using? I don't remember. Wanda Oakseed is going to go to the sheriff's office, take the deputy's badge, which is going to give me the sheriff's badge, and then I get to take one of these contracts. And I don't really have an idea of what contract I'm going to take. I just know that if I can get it for free, I might as well take one, right?
So this deputy badge is going to determine who is the starting player. Unless no one takes it, then the sheriff remains the starting player. So
right. So the post office, or the U.S. bonds, I can take that one. That is going to give me victory points for each building constructed after this contract has been purchased, which can be a lot early in the game. But also, I think it would be nice to just get one done for pretty cheap too. But I think what I'll do is I'll maybe meet in the middle. I'll go for the library. I cannot construct that yet, but I figure I might as well go ahead and take one to kind of set myself up for later in the game to complete contracts. That's it.
Alrighty. All right, so you know what? I need to put that back on there. Got knocked off during the coffee escapade. All right. So you're done with that. Okay. We messed up something real quick, y'all. In a 2-player only game, at the end of the 3rd and the 4th round, we actually put the highest value card out on the board. Right. So I'm just going to place that there. It doesn't matter where we place these, by the way. And it actually comes completely built. So, Dean, does that change what you would do?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use Chase over here to construct my sawmill. So I need 4 wood, and I think I'm going to spend all 4 of those. He takes 1 iron there, but because of this, I'm going to let him have brick, and so therefore I don't have to pay that. I want to keep my 1 brick because I'm about to have the ability to get a bunch of wood from this sawmill. So I leave this marker on here to indicate that I built it. I also get my 6 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I am going to come up here and I'm going to sell a couple of these crops. That's why I wanted to do that last round so that I could get some of these sold. The market value is 3. Did those get knocked around too? Goodness gracious, what didn't get knocked around during that? All right, so the market value is 3. That looks terrible. That's going to drive me insane. Plus 2, so that's 5. I can sell 3 of those. Woo! That's pretty solid right there for a bunch of money. 15 big dollars.
Big dollars.
For big ballas. That's what they call me, actually.
Nobody calls you that.
Johnny Balla. Got them big dollars. That's what I call myself around the old house.
Is it my turn? Can I go? No.
Well, we need to flip this over.
Oh yeah, flip it over.
All right, exciting game. Your favorite one. The city sponsors a poker tournament. Each family supports the event by donating $1. Ante up.
All right.
And then the bank raises the stakes to $8. So can you throw a You got more money than me over there. Can you throw just throw.
I'll just throw a 10 and take these out.
And
It's 8
raises
total.
2
That's right.
eggs, so
That's
you need
right.
6.
That's right. I forgot.
So actually, I do have the money on my side, but oh well.
Okay.
Just. What are you doing?
I still put 8 in there. All right, math is.
Oh my gosh!
Usually my thing, but
all right,
not today.
And the bank raises. The highest draw wins the pot. So all we're gonna do here is just draw from this poker deck, and whoever draws the highest wins. So we're playing war basically, but it says that it's poker.
One of my least favorite events.
All right, you just want to draw at the same time?
I guess so.
1, 2, 3. Dang it!
Redrawing
a card game.
Redraw.
Oh no!
But I still got a good chance.
Oh my gosh!
Automatic win.
Oh my gosh!
Excellent. All right, so I get all the money. You like that?
So he gets $8 just like that. So yeah, that's if you don't like randomness, it is kind of Wild West. It's thematic, but
there are some like that in there.
Yeah. So there's no skill to that whatsoever. So if you don't like that,
Did you see how I drew that? You flip the wrist just right.
Oh yeah.
You get the card out. All right. Enough with that nonsense. I'm going to go on to Annie Oakseed is going to.
Your life is nonsense.
Annie Oakseed is going to produce cattle because why not? You get 4 per production, and she produces an extra
That's for real.
1. So I'm going to. It's going to take me a while.
I'm thinking about producing cattle one more time, even though I have absurd amounts.
I also do. Okay.
That could be an in-game scoring thing too.
It could be. That's right.
Whoever has the most cattle, whoever has the most silver crops.
Could be the one that I said.
It may be. He may put it in that deck.
And now I have money. I might as well go up here, right? Because if I in this
hold up, and we didn't also put the next one up there. So,
that's right. Oh,
Sons of Guns.
All right,
this is actually the same. They all have the same value, so it's just a random draw. A draw. So there goes the Undertaker.
Oh, that actually was the one I was going to build.
Is it really?
It is. Yeah, I'm flipping the table.
So again, this is a 2-player game. During 2-player games, during the 3rd and 4th round, I will say I would have really loved some kind of an indicator on the board, a little 2-person symbol or something, because I forget that almost all the time. We don't forget it. We always go back and do it.
Right.
But almost every time that's forgotten.
That's happened several times where we've, had something about
I wish the board has something printed, again, a 2-player symbol or something that would remind you.
All right, it didn't really matter for me. I knew that I was going to produce one of these, so I'll just do the boarding house. And we got these. Oh, yeah, those are right. These are up. The upside down ones are here. Those are right side up.
Because it's a street, Dean.
That's right. I got you. Okay, I'm going to put the boarding house there for my second action, and that's all I can do.
All right, so I haven't even thought about anything that I'm going to do. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm going to go up her for $4.
Oh, by the way, I paid for this and did not get it. So my farm, I produced.
$2.
I got another farm.
All right, I don't really want this doctor card all that much, but whenever I can get 2 for 1, I'm going to take it. I feel like I need to. Now, one thing that we also didn't mention is that you can only have 2 buildings that haven't been constructed at one time. So I couldn't have gotten a 3rd. Actually, I've only got 1 now, but just saying that. All right, next thing I'm going to do is go ahead. I'm going to buy another crop. So that's going to cost me $2. Where you place them on this board, we didn't mention, and I get 2 victory points, does not matter either. So I've got that done. So I could go start heading in that direction. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go here because I don't have to pay. So that's 4 free wood from me, which is sweet. And then I'm thinking this guy could produce, I could produce 8 of those bad boys. The problem is because Dean has so many, it's going to you're not. But, I mean, you could still go there and do 3 times market value. There's going to be a lot of people going there. Which also I could right now. The market value is only 1. So it's actually 1, 2, 3. It's actually the same. No, it's not. It's only 1. I could go there and block Dean from getting some more bucks that way. I might do that, Problem is, though, I can produce.
Oh my, that's a lot of noises.
I'm doing
it.
Right, that's a buck. I'm trading in 2 of these. The market value is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So I'm going to get $6. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about selling that for right now. There's a couple
flip this over. We'll flip this over
every time.
Too much rain and move one crop market value from production to the market value track. Wow, so there is no crop production.
But it sells for
$4.
Neither one of us have any, so it's not going to do us any good. But that would be huge. That would be a lot of money.
You could have sold 4 for $4, $16. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. But alas, I don't have it. So what I will do is I'm going to try to complete my boarding house, which I will be able to complete it. I do have, with Rob, he has 1 brick production, and I will make that 2 lumber, meaning I only have to pay 1 lumber and then 1 of the horseshoes, iron, whatever it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now when I build a boarding house, what that means is at the end, now it won't happen this time because they're gone, but the owner is going to get 3 points if there are more than 1 worker that has not been hired at the end of the year. So in this, if there's 2 or more, I'm going to get 3 points. So he did that, he built that, and then I think what I'll do is...
Did you get your victory points?
Yes, I took my victory points. And I'm going to get... I'm going to pay John some money. $2.
To get 3 wood.
John.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
nice doing business with you.
To get 3 wood to kind of prep myself for the next round. And that is the end of my turn and the end of my round.
All right, so I'm going to send Mary up here. I'm going to spend $6 to get 3 things. I'm going to take 2 spirits. Three spirits. Sorry, I have one over there. 3 spirits. Yep. All right. So I'm prepping myself. We're both gonna hitch our both our son and daughter, and that's the only time you can do it. You can only do it once per game.
Right.
They can obviously I guess there's no divorcing in the West.
I guess not.
All right. They have it's true love, man.
Hitched for life, or at least hitched for 3 rounds of a board game. So I guess
it's true love, girl, it's true love. All right. Then I'm gonna take Mary, and I'm going to actually do this. So she has that. I'm going to spend 1 of these because I can use this as a wild. Then I need to pay 1 of these, and I need to pay 1 of these. So now I've built my Docta, which is going to give me 5 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now if anyone's wounded in a gunfight or in one of these things that's going to happen, they can pay a resource instead of lose an action. But it's going to come to me. So
yeah, that's a good. All the buildings are really beneficial for you to own. Yeah.
So that's it, right?
Yeah, that is it. And so we would end the round, reset everything. But let's show what would happen towards the beginning of the next round. We would have a battle,
I do want to make a mention that we're also going to be drawing some of these out of the bag. Some of these have permanent spots, but so this will shake up a little bit, not only through this, but at the end of each round, it may change just a little bit. So yes, you want to do...
we would reset these. New buildings are going to come out for the next year.
And any old buildings remain if they're there. We're going to get new events that come out. And then any player that's left there, this is the advanced game. So
hold on. I guess before you do that, we should show. So when you do...
we didn't do that.
When you marry, you marry at the end of the round. So you pay 2 spirits per player that you want to get married, as well as 2 of these resources. So I'm going to pay 4.
Totally wiped me out.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's worth it because now these are permanent in your workers, and then you can also still get more. You can hire ranch hands that will go into your tableau over here, but they're not permanent. They'll go
and they take up spaces. So you notice that Dean has this. If this is filled up with these contracts or these, you can't take anymore. You have to fulfill the contract or use the. At the end of the year, the worker is released. So anyway, alrighty. So that's that, and then we would do this at the beginning of the next round, the third or something phase. So this guy's actually, Kendall's gonna go to the sheriff, which is Dean. Dean is going to have markers back on all of these. He's gonna pick one of these folks to go out to battle.
And I'll pick Ma Oakseed, who has a 6.
6, okay.
6 power.
So Dean's gonna draw.
All right.
What is it?
Counts as 0.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I drew the Joker. Now John's going to draw for Kendall, and if Kendall gets a 3... Oh, good gracious.
Wow. What a terrible thing. All right, but here's the thing. It's not. So what this means is that if it was a tie, they would both get wounded. What this means is that Dean is actually going to lose an action going into next round, or since the doctor office has been built, he can pay. So it's not so bad. But I get that. So, hey.
And the benefit of that happening for me is that John has the Undertaker, which means he gets $4 for every character that is
I don't have the Undertaker.
Killed.
That was one of the other.
You don't have it. Had John had that, then he would get $4 for every character that's killed. And there was no character that was killed, so that player would not have gotten that. So that's the gist of it.
You want to talk about art and components?
Yeah, let's do art and components.
All right, so let's talk about the art and components, Dean. What do you think?
All right. I like a lot of the components. I think the art.
I love the art.
It doesn't really do it for me. I like the box cover. I think that looks good.
I wanted just to pull the box cover up.
Yeah,
this really
I do like
drew
that.
me in. Like Rio Grande, they did a great job on the art in this game.
Yeah,
because you know some of their other stuff is not the best.
For that
for
now.
Sure.
Okay, again, art is subjective, so it is what it is. But for me, like the art on the board and the cards, I think it's fine, but it's not like. It's not going to win best art of the year for me or anything like that. Okay.
I'm not saying it's. I wouldn't say it's. I really love the art in this game.
Yeah, characters are kind of cool. I like the art.
I like the way I do. I'm digging the art.
Yeah. As far as components go, I think the components are fine too. I think you have these little gates to indicate which player is which. These are worthless
and they don't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really need those. If we're playing a 2-player game, so you really don't need them because if you know your color. It can be helpful to know what the other. I mean, it is. It's helpful to know what the other players are, to know what their markers are, and you need to be able to see that quickly. This might be a little bit excessive, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
The positive thing is it does stick up instead of just like laying down flat.
I'm not negative against it. Can you throw me some of those blues? So I'm going to make mention of something.
Yeah. All of them.
Yeah, just throw these. So whenever they produce this game, one negative is that Rio Grande wanted light blue and they didn't get light blue. Thus, if you see here, this is a black. The black is very close, very similar color to the dark blue. So Ken over there was really great at Rio Grande. He had mentioned maybe putting some white dots or something, but I just want to let you all know that if you get it, it doesn't affect a 2-player game. It doesn't affect a 3-player game. It would affect a 4-player game, whereas you could tell here, you might get confused if you don't put some dots or some markers on there. So I don't love that. I also don't love a couple of really quick, relatively minor quibbles. So after the first round, let me just show you this here. Some of these event cards, all the event cards aren't out. It actually has per round. So actually after the first round is the only one that has those two. Now, I really wish there was some type of a marker. I actually take one of these and move it because it can get a little confusing sometimes because this spot doesn't flip a card over. Now, you can always go back and see how many workers have got their actions. But to me, I would have liked some kind of a marker or something that I could put up here just to kind of indicate where I'm at.
Which you could just do. Like, you can just pull something out of the box. And
which is what we do.
Right.
Yeah, which is what we do. And then another minor quibble is every game I've played, we've gone well over 50 points, and there's no marker down here. Now, we've taken our little tokens. I like those. Dean doesn't care about those little things, but I like a 50-plus or a 50-plus marker that would be in front of the board to indicate that.
It's kind of hit or miss for games that do that. Some of them do that. Some games now, Quacks of Quedlinburg has the marker on there that shows 50, but not all games do that, and it doesn't bother me just to throw a token down there. But a nice mention in the book might say, hey, just use that.
Use that, yeah. But then again, throw me one of those fire things, and then we've been talking about this a lot. But,
it fell apart.
Yeah, well, it's fine. These are good. So they have these nice little standees, and again, I'm cool with this, even though it's pretty big. All this is pretty nice and thick. I did mention a couple, negative things, but overall, the components are good. I like the sheriff badges and all that kind of stuff.
Card quality is fine because you're not handling the cards throughout the game. So
I really like the art. The components are good besides those minor squabbles.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about gameplay.
Yeah, so with gameplay, there are some things that I love about the gameplay. The way the workers, your family members, have these different action tokens on them, and they have different amounts based on the powers that they have on here. So, for one that has less, weaker powers for your like the items that you produce when you place a worker, you're going to get more workers. If they're more powerful, you're going to get less workers. Like John only has one worker
One action
on
here.
Sally Wine. I think that's really cool, and I want to see that in more games because I just think that's a really good way of making your characters more. Your character's more asymmetrical. Like our families are very different, the things that they do, and there's several other families in the box. I love that part of the game. That is by far my favorite part of the game.
Yeah, the skill sets, that's exactly right. The skill sets are so nice.
Yeah.
And it leads to really interesting calls. Like I was able to produce twice here, but I really wanted to use those two things for her. So it's...
Yeah. So you really have to balance out what do you want to use.
Yeah, you really do. And then when you're hiring new people and marrying them off, do you want them for their skills or do you want them for an extra action? And so that's really cool. I like that a lot. I would say one negative though. I have only played this 2 player, so I want to be that very clear. And Dean has too.
Yeah, me too.
Because you use all of your actions, which is interesting, right?
Yeah.
You're not going 1, 1, 1, 1. If this was a 4-player game, I think could take a really long time sometimes to get back around to your turn.
Yeah.
If you had players doing 3 actions, even 2 actions, I mean, you're talking about, 7 actions maybe before it comes back around to your turn. I don't know. I haven't experienced that, but that would be a concern for me if I was playing a 4-player game.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And I mean, we saw it in our plays, if you take, 5 minutes per turn, it's going to be, which oftentimes you're going to take more than that because there's a lot to think about that. Then you might have, 15, 20 minutes before it comes back around for you to.
It does get slow paced occasionally, even in a 2-player game. I don't feel a lot like that, but occasionally I'm like, man, this is taking a minute.
Yeah. I also like how the buildings work. So, like, you have your own buildings that you're building.
I like that a lot.
And then you're going to get the benefits from other players. If they take those actions, you're going to get money oftentimes is what that really pans out to be, or sometimes it's resources. I think that's great. I really like to see that in buildings and worker placement actions where you're building up things. I think it's cool.
You got little engine building here.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting a little wood engine there. You've got your little brick there, so you can get that throughout the game. That's really cool, and it's really neat how you don't pay for the action that you go to, but other players pay you. I like that a lot. It kind of has a little bit of a Kalis feel with you're putting out buildings and it's progressive. And that's another thing I want to say I really like about the game is I typically like worker placement games. I like whenever the spots are expanding over the course of the game. I think that's a really nice mechanic, and that's what happens. You have just a few spots off the bat, and as the game progresses, you're opening up more spots. I think that's really neat.
It also means that the length of time of the game, thinking about your turns is going to be longer. Like the game each round is going to progressively get longer.
Especially as you're marrying people off. Right. Like the next round would have been a lot longer. We would both have these, then we could have hired workers.
Yeah.
So it can be a little bit long, but there's only 3 out there. Though there are things like the sheriff you can go into the discard pile and hire one as well.
Right.
But here's something I like if you follow us, I like combo action games where you feel clever because you're making combo actions. These actually, let me go through some of these contracts because that doesn't show it very well. Here's one right here. So what this says is if I pay, we didn't do any contracts at all, so we should mention the contracts. Here's something that's interesting. Okay, if I want to take a contract, I'm going to place it on, if I want a civic contract, one of the civic spots. If I can fulfill it immediately, boom, I fulfill it. If not, it goes down here like Dean did, okay? But first of all, love that. I love that you have the push your luck of, I really want that card, and I would love the efficiency of going to one spot and building it rather than taking 2 actions to get it, and then later on. But then sometimes you really want the card, and you're like, I can't risk Dean getting it.
Right.
Brilliant. Love that part of it. But this is cool because this gives you 6 victory points if the stables have not been built, 9 if the stables have been built, and the owner of the stable gets 2 victory points. So you might want to build a stable just going, well, I could get 2 victory points even if Dean builds that. But, if I build it, I get 9 plus 2, which is 11 victory points. And if I could do that in one action, pow, man, that feels awesome. That's one of my favorite parts of the game, actually. So let's talk real quick, because I've talked about a lot of these pieces. Let's talk about the events. What do you think about the events, Dean?
That might be the time. Okay, we've mentioned the time is one of my least favorite parts of the game because I think the game goes too long. We'll talk about that a little bit. This is also one of my least favorite parts of the game. I think events in games are things that I really enjoy. If you've seen our video for like Starfarers of Catan, like those events I think are fine. These can be really frustrating, and you saw one of those that was really frustrating to me. The exciting game one.
It was a $7 swing.
You flip a card, and whoever's highest gets money. Like there's no
$8 swing.
Yeah, like I wish
$1.
I'm fine with that card if it allows you to like put some stock into it. Like if you put a character who has a poker card on there, but if you lose the game, then you're going to get a wound or something like that. Like something that allows some sort of skill. The other really frustrating card that always comes out at the worst possible time has to do with these contracts. So you wipe the contract board, and you can no longer get any of those contracts for the rest of the year, which is so frustrating, especially when that happens in your last year. Our very first game of this, John, I think, had mentioned that card comes out, but I didn't really know how that was going to work. So I had a couple contracts. I was like, okay, I can get those. But then that card came out, they wiped away, and then I have all these worker actions that I didn't have anything that I could do with because I had kind of built my game around doing those. Now you say, well, just pick them up.
Find it.
Oh, we may have ripped it up and thrown it out of the game. Is that it? No, that's not it. You can, if you know the cards in there.
I'm probably staring at it, but go ahead.
If you know the cards in there, it's fine.
There it is. And it would have came out at the end of the game again.
Again, yeah.
So that would be, that would be 4 or 5 times in a row where this card comes out at the end of the game, wipes out your, that's crazy. And the percentage isn't that high for that to happen.
You have to plan for it, basically. But if you're playing this the first time, you don't know that's there, you're not going to plan for it. You're just going to get frustrated, which is what happened to me. But if you can plan by filling up these with some contracts that you can work towards in that last round, that's the way to go. But it's still, there's some more like that are just like, oh, this is so frustrating.
Hey, what's going on, Meepletown? So as I edited this video, I recognized there was something really important that we didn't talk about when it comes to the event cards that we're talking about in this part of the discussion. And that is, there is a worker placement spot that you can go to that allows you to look at all the event cards, okay? And even one of the top event card on the draw deck. And then you can actually rearrange those in any order that you want to. Even placing one of the cards, right, that was in the event that was going to come out that year on the top of the draw deck. Now it would come out the next year, but if there was something you really didn't want to want to happen this year, you could put it up there. So that will help mitigate it a little bit. Now I will say there's only one spot for that. There is another card that allows you to take a position. Take an action that's already has another person's worker on it. So I guess technically it could happen twice in a year. But again, that's one worker spot. So it didn't matter if you're playing with 1, 2, 3, or 4 folks. You can do that. So I just wanted to make mention of that. And now we'll get back to our discussion. Besides that one, I don't super mind the poker swinginess, but I don't really like it either.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm kind of meh on it. It is hard for me to really give high scores to a game where there can be a lot of swinginess. The first time Dean and I played, honestly, it went all in my favor. The last time Dean and I played, it went all in his favor. And guess what? I won the first game, he won the second game.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it had to do with simply these cards. I mean, it was super swingy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, both times it was almost like everyone that could go wrong for me went wrong for me. Everyone that could go wrong for you went wrong for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully that balances out over the course of the game. So I want to.
It could, but if it doesn't, then it can be really, really frustrating.
I mean, it depends on what kind of game player you are.
Yeah.
If you're super into games and you don't like luck and you don't like that kind of stuff, then you're not going to like it. But if you like some randomness to have more fun, I think you might actually like that part of the game. Yeah. I am kind of meh on it. Yeah. And also, most of the good cards are at the beginning of the game. There are a few good ones that come out, but a lot as the game progresses, they get more negative.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
You're losing money and things like that, which is again, events are events, and it's fine because most of the time they affect everybody. But in the case of like the exciting game, that's not the case. It really just does affect that one person, and then negatively affects everyone else. So real fast, I already alluded to this, but the time that it takes to play this game, 2-player game, we've played this game in about 2.5 hours, and
2 to 2.5,
2 to 2.5, which I think it's on the long end for me for this type of game. I wish that this could be tightened up a little bit to play in about 30 minutes less. But again, as you're gaining more workers, your more ranch hands, your game time is going to increase, and there's more buildings, there's more thought process. So that's a negative for me as well.
So that is my biggest negative to this game, and I think it's a pretty big negative, to be quite frank. By the end of the game, every single time I play this, I'm ready for it to be over. I wish it ended a whole round earlier, for sure.
The problem is with that is that you can't, because our games typically end in about 3 years, I guess, and that takes about 2.5 hours, somewhere around there. And the problem is, I don't want to play a 1 year less because you don't really have all the things that you want to be able to do. You know, so I don't know I don't know what the answer to that would be. Maybe if there were less rounds in a year, potentially. I'm not sure.
That or I would just take some of the buildings off.
But that doesn't really affect it from here. Anyway,
I would take some of the, but yeah, because if you made less buildings and you would, it's a pretty big negative though, because it's not only that. I'm going to go into my final thoughts.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's just do that. Oh, one more thing before I do that. Some people might not like this. We both pick one of these cards. I mentioned this earlier. One of them in a 2-player game and a 3-player game, I believe, is completely random. Now, you do know what it could be. There's like 8 or 9 or something things that it could be. But some people are going to get frustrated that there's basically maybe a lucky something there. But again, I'm not too worried about that because you can actually sort of plan for those, knowing what they're going to do.
Kind of, yeah. You know,
I don't love it. I don't hate it.
But it's not a ton of points either, so it's not a big deal.
So here's my final thoughts. There are aspects of this game that I really enjoy. I was super excited to get this game. You asked Dean. I remember when I first heard about it, I was like, I really want to get a copy of this. I really want to play this game. I love Rio Grande Games. They make great games. And so I was really hyped about it. As I play the game, there's some fun parts to it. I feel like the game, though, is a little rough around the edges. And there are some issues with the rule book. I want to mention that as well. But Ken at Rio Grande has been phenomenal. He's so fast at getting back and saying, yes, we're on top of these. We know these things. None of the issues were major, but it was a little frustrating, to be real, the first time I played this. Because there are, I think, 5 or 6 typos or things that you have to go that are a little bit incorrect there. Again, it's not the end of the world. Maybe it just says go to the different page it's not on that particular page. But that was a little bit frustrating for me. We've mentioned a lot of the things that we like about the game. I like the characters. I like how they have special skills. Great. I like the combo action that you can get with having buildings out here that you own, and you also fulfilling contracts. I like how you can go and fulfill them immediately, push your luck by not getting it to try to get it in one action, or go ahead and grab it because you're nervous someone's going to take that. I really like that about the game. There's a lot of pieces that I enjoy about the game, but again, I feel like there's just, and I can't go over all the details of why, but it feels just a little, do you understand what I'm saying by a little rough around the edges? Mm-hmm. Little, and it's hard to explain all that without going to the rule book and all that kind of stuff. It feels a little rough around the edges, and it goes too long. It just, for me, it just goes, if I'm going to play a 2.5 hour game, I'm going to love it. If I don't love a game, I'm not playing a game for 2.5 hours, and I just don't love this game. I like it. Mm-hmm. I don't love it. If this was an hour to an hour and a half, I would give this a higher score, straight up. As that being said, I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it let me pull up sorry, I have this right here, the BGG, just to say, we use BGG ratings if you've never followed us. 6 means usually willing to play. 7 means usually willing to play. I just can't say that about this game because of the length of the game and how I just think it's okay. 6 is okay, we'll play if in the mood. I think it's a quality game. I feel more like I'm going to split the difference and say 6.5. I do think people who love Westerns, there's going to be some people that really like this game. Don't you think, Dean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I do. So and I don't not like it. I'm just not in love with it.
Yeah. I am pretty similar on my thoughts with what John said. Now, I do think I'm actually exactly with my rating. I'll go ahead and throw that out there. So I'm at a 6.5. But I really struggled with this rating more than most games because there are things that I really love.
I agree.
I love the family, traits and how all of that works. I think it is my favorite part of the game, and I really love that a lot. I wish that maybe if they said, we're going to come out with an expansion for Nevada City, I don't know if that's going to happen. I want a whole new set of event cards, personally. I mean, not that I hate all of them, but there are some that I just hate. I mean, I just do, and I don't want them in the game. Those two that we mentioned are two of those. I don't want to have those in the game. Now, you can just take them out. You can do that, but I would rather see some different events, and that's just a personal thing. With the time, the problem with the time is that I don't know how you could fix that, because a lot of it comes with analysis paralysis, and I don't think that, I mean, John and I play games, I feel like, fairly quickly, but I don't see how you get around that in this game, because there are so many things to think about, and even if you're just like playing quickly, again, you're compounding your actions that you take every year because of the ranch hands that you're hiring in. And so I think that is a challenge. I really, honest to goodness, don't know how you could lessen the time of this game, which is a big drawback.
I think you could if you took some of the buildings plots.
Yeah, that could work.
I think if you took a section in it, and you have 4 building plots out, it probably would end. Yeah, it could end in the second round maybe. I don't know, and you're right. I mean, especially whenever we get these this early in the game, it can really lengthen the game.
Now, if that was the case, if those two things were fixed, I would be higher for sure.
Yeah,
I think I would
probably
be more around like the 7.5 to maybe even the 8 range, because I really like how the gameplay itself plays out. But just those two things are big drawbacks for me. So that's both of us. We're both at 6.5. Really kind of struggled. I think both of us really kind of struggled with where to land.
I mean, like we said, there's some things we really like about this game a lot.
Yeah. But that's it. 6.5. Tell people how they can reach us.
All right. If you are enjoying our channel, we would love for you to subscribe to the channel. You can also go to Meepletown Games to look at our podcast or YouTube stuff, or you could go on iTunes and all that stuff. Look up Meepletown. We're at Meepletown Games on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild number 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.